Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our time together. So glad you're here. I am Lori Lamantia, and I'm here with the beautiful Trisha Fisk.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, everyone. And today our topic is consciously creating, but talking about it from a place of not thinking about it, hoping for it, wishing for it, but experiencing and feelizing it as it's happening. Like, not that it's in the future, but it's in the now. Um, and so today we're going to dive deeper into, well, what is that? I don't understand, Laura. When I'm creating, I'm thinking about what I want, absolutely. But when you're a conscious creator, you're not in time. You're experiencing whatever your creation is as if it's a done deal. And we talked about this last year, but we're going to dive a little deeper into this done deal. I already am living it as it kind of concept. Trish, how did you articulate this?
Right. Well, we ended. There's a couple of just really short quotes. We ended with last time we were together with from Pandit Rajmani Tiganaya, who just says, "Don't meditate on something, meditate as something." And then the famous Gandhi quote, "Be the change you seek." So
Right.
and but what we want to talk about too is get clear on how you want to feel.
Yes, beautiful. Right.
Right. You
Right.
can't create how you want to feel unless you start paying attention to how you want to feel.
Right. What
And
it
and
feels like. Yeah.
exactly. And we often don't allow the space for ourselves to do that because um, I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I get focused on the finished picture instead of the process of getting there. And the process of getting there, participating in it, enjoying it, loving it is so important to ending up in a place where you're really happy and fulfilled. It's like you can't jump from A to Z.
Right.
You've got to go through the process of how do I want to feel? How do
Right.
I, yeah, what gets me excited? And I think an important thing that we want to stress here is that you don't have to know the end, but start with the creation of how you want to feel.
Right.
And that does take, it takes your attention, journaling, um, also meditating at the third eye can
Mhm.
be really helpful in that as well. So um,
Well, there's a
yeah,
couple, you said something, you even said it. I don't think you even noticed you said it. You said, when, at the end, so you're happy and fulfilled. You know, you said it in the middle of your sentence. That's what that's really the ultimate aspect of how we want to feel when we're in the middle of our creation. We're happy and fulfilled. And so even if you don't know what it is, you can be in this moment happy and fulfilled that it has happened and you've had the satisfaction and you feel the graces that happened along the way. Those are all the things that whenever we're create one of my teachers says most of the time everything we create is because we think when we have it we'll be happy. All the
yes,
stuff that we put out there is about getting happy. So we can find that joy place, that satisfaction place now. And of course, as humans, we want to go, well, that's cheating. Well, no, and yes, because that's where we want to end up anyway. And what we're talking about here is being in your creation as it. And
yes,
so that as it is, boy, I feel wonderful. I feel grateful. I feel alive. I feel energized. I always go, oh, I'm amazed at how grateful I feel when I put myself into that future space. I'm like, oh, that was unexpected. I didn't expect this. This is so fun. So we can pull all that into the now. for our
Yes,
creation.
yes, absolutely. Have the process wants to be as adored as the creation.
Yes. Oh,
The process
beautiful.
of creating, yes, the process of creating filled with love and enthusiasm and yeah.
Yeah,
And
your heart.
sometimes,
Yeah, your
yeah,
heart's act very engaged.
right. And sometimes it's hard to get started. We talked about that last time about that fork in the road if something is unexpected. Um, but yes, you can. You absolutely can.
One of the things before we started talking, you talked about, and sometimes we don't know what we want to create. I'll
Right.
speak for myself. A lot of times, I don't know. And I know that sounds crazy because I'm a conscious creator. I know I am. And some things will come in and I'm like, oh yeah, that. I get a lot of clarity. Like, I need a new pair of pants. And I know the criteria I'm looking for. And so, I get really clear. And of course, I would create a great pair of plants and feeling wonderful in them. So I get to do the physical and the energetic at the same time. But sometimes we're not sure, and I think, and I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about this, but that fork in the road, when it comes, you're so stunned by the fork happening. You don't really, like you said last week, you were headed in such a clear direction that now, what is the new direction? So you are in a place of void, space,
Right.
no thing, no answer, no clarity, except I got to make it, I'm on a different road now, or a little somewhat different road.
Right. And I'm going to compare that too to when I'm looking outside and it's like 5 degrees today and
Right.
then there's snow. We're in the middle of winter and it feels like winter. You know,
Right.
it yeah,
You
feels
mean
like winter.
that blank place, the
Yes,
place that
yes,
you were at when you came to the fork? Yeah, it feels like shut down, quiet down, settle down. Yeah, the frosty internal part of winter.
exactly. And it's time to start, yeah, welcoming in. What do I want to welcome in? Yeah, what do I want
Yes,
as my spring comes? What do I want to welcome in?
yes.
How do
You
I
said
want to?
there's an inquiry.
Yes, there is an
That's
inquiry,
how
and
do I want
in you're in the conscious creating through yoga book that we created. Just to be clear, who the authors are, says a great way to move energy is to engage both the mind and the body at the same time. Engage your creative mind when you visualize and see your creation happening. Engage your body when you emote and feel your creation. So begin with the end in mind. How do you feel as you're living your creation? What are you experiencing? And maybe you need to even spend a little time figuring out how do you want to feel?
totally. That's so important.
Right.
Right.
What's most important to you right now in your life for where you are and where you're going and who's in your life? What do you want to feel? What do you want to experience or share?
Do you
And you
mind
may
me asking, when you hit your fork last week, can you pick one thing that you do want to feel for this next phase?
I do. I want to move more towards the spiritual side of things. So I talked a little bit last week about how the yoga world is changing and it's yoga studios seem to be bending more towards the fitness side. And I get that because they need to survive. But personally, I'm more drawn to the spiritual side of things. Um, and two examples of that would be there is a organization here locally with us called the Theosophical Society, who looks at not only the spiritual side of things, but from different traditions. So, say from yoga, but also Christianity and also mysticism. And so, all of these different aspects exploring Christianity. The other place I'm drawn is therapy, because I'm working with a group of therapists, and their whole motivation is to heal trauma, for people to get back in their body and feel alive and enjoy their life. And that focus is just so beautiful. So as I'm saying this, my thoughts are connection and healing.
Mm, mm. And how, when you were saying spiritual, I know you, and so I think there is a feeling underneath the word spiritual. What is it?
Connection.
Connection.
Yes.
Your heart's engaged.
Heart, mind,
Yeah,
gut.
right.
Yeah.
The whole enchilada.
The whole
Yeah.
thing. Right.
Yeah. And so I do think some of that inquiry can really help guide us. Because we might not know exactly what's going to happen. We don't know exactly where we're going to land. But if we have that feeling, that felt sense, um, it'll be like a Geiger counter, like "Brr, you're getting closer, closer, not so close, and then you're like,
Right.
and you can use that to help you navigate in what looks like uncertainty, but is really, you having a real sense of where, to consciously creating the direction you're going to head.
Right. And you have to give yourself the space to do that. Um, if you don't know, it may be that you absolutely do know where you want to go, and you've been daydreaming about it for a while, but which is wonderful. Then just jump into it. But if
Totally. Yeah.
yeah, but if you're trying to figure it out, then just give yourself a little bit of space to do
Right.
that. Right. And I think, that's the joy and the gift of yoga, is that it does its heart, mind, gut, all of those things, when you really focus on how do I want my body to feel? Maybe I want my body to just feel more relaxed. Maybe I want my body to feel more energized. Maybe I just have a little tension I want to get rid of. And then um, my mind, what kind of stuff is dragging me down? How do I let go of that and start to feel ease and pleasure and grace? So yeah,
And
play with
those are great
it.
guides. Those are things we want to incorporate. Well, I'll speak for myself for into everything I quote unquote do.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
ease and grace and fulfillment and satisfaction. It makes me think of one of the stories I tell in Effortless Wealth. There's a story from a book, The Isaiah Principle by Greg Braden. And Greg tells about there's a drought in the area, and him and one of his American Indian friends go and they're going to pray for rain. And so they go out to a sacred spot in this desert area. And um, David, the Indian that he's with, the American Indian that he's with, says he takes off his shoes and he says, "Okay, let's pray." And so Greg said, "Well, I thought we're going to pray for rain." And David says, "No, we're going to pray as rain." And so what David did was he started to feel himself dancing in the rain, and he started feeling rain coming down, and he saw the rain all around him, and he was getting excited about feeling rained on and dancing in the puddles and watching the cattle drink. And he put himself in the place where he was actually experiencing rain, not thinking about rain, but being rained on. And So
Yeah.
when he came out of the meditation of sorts, Greg was like, well, what do I thought, we were going to pray together. He's like, it's already done. We have prayed as rain. Be the change you seek. Don't pray for it, pray as it, which to me really says be it. And even if you don't know what it is, you can know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to have rain. We know what it feels like to enjoy something.
Yes. We know what it feels like to really to be in bliss, to be in
Right.
your heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be grateful, to know grace,
Right.
to
Yes.
shine,
Yeah. Which is our right.
which is our word, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I think we're really trying to bring forth today is that a lot of times, when we are faced with something with a change, or even if we really are trying to create something we desire or have desired for a long time, we tend to think it's out there,
Mm-hmm.
separate from us. And part of being a conscious creator is not saying it's out there, it's here. It's here now. And the way I physicalize it, so to speak, take it from the energy space of no thing and bring it into something here is through that that mind, body, feel, think, energy vortex that we create when we pray as it, not for it.
Perfect. Said perfectly. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope people, are you feeling that energy shift?
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and the cool thing is that we don't know. We don't know. You don't know what's going to come forward, but you do know something is that fits that.
Right. And
This,
yeah, the less you try to define it specifically, the more open you are to possibilities and
totally.
potentiality and
Right.
right, because
That's
you're
abundance.
allowing, yeah, yes, because you're allowing the universe to throw it in there.
The great
Infinite,
one.
right, this
Yeah.
infinite potential.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you have this beautiful reading. You pulled a card. Rumi, I
Yes,
think, the
it's
Rumi
from
card.
this Rumi Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. It's just beautiful, and I I just one of my friends actually texted me like at 7 o'clock in the morning 2 days ago and said, "Go pull a Rumi card." so
Nice.
so I did, right, and it's here's the prayer: the divine who loves me unconditionally blesses me now with such grace that my life aligns with divine order and all becomes golden, blessed, and mercifully held in the compassionate consciousness of the Creator. I thank you for the courage and faith I have needed to endure the night, and I now celebrate the coming dawn. I see it breaking, I see its light, and I thank you for this mercy. I am now shown the way to the dawn. It is at my feet, and together we step into the gift of a new day. So be
Nice. Gosh, there's so much power stuff in there.
it. It's beautiful.
The idea that, when we do get to a fork, it does feel dark, but we can endure the light. I love that. All the readings that we've been doing, and these are kind of picked, randomly, but perfectly. I mean, underneath everything is this unconditional love. Loves me unconditionally. Life is beautiful from the beautiful one. I mean, the undercurrent theme that I keep feeling as we do this is there's all this love that's just down through as us. And we're kind of humaning and
Right. Well,
we forget. Yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on out there that's
there's
very
a
confusing.
right. But when you come back to that undercurrent, it's always there, it's always present, it never leaves. And it gives us the ability to endure the night so we can celebrate the dawn. And I do think, your journey, the journey you're on, the journey from winter to spring is one where we know spring will come.
Yes.
The dawn comes and we're shown the way and we'll know because we feel satisfied, fulfilled, all the things we've been putting in the creative ethers when we pray as the energy of our conscious desire will happen.
Hmm. It's already done.
It's already done. So, everyone, I hope you're feeling the difference of creating, hoping someday for maybe we'll see versus creating as now. I am the change I seek. I am the vibration I want to be when, quote unquote, it happens. I'm already it.
Right.
And that shifts everything,
It does.
especially from an empowerment place.
Right. Even and if you need to feel it, just say it to yourself. Then you feel like your heart open up right away.
Yeah, I felt my first three chakras go, yeah, like done. So it was fun. Yeah. There is an empowerment there too. So play with it, please, everyone. Give it a shot.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And we wish you a lot of love and a lot of power and happiness as you do the work, the creating energy work.
Yes, as you share this with us.
Yes, please do. Email us, put comments in. We love it. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Yeah.
much. Have a great week, everyone.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Swaha.
Swaha.